kids, it's Mrs. Davis from Happy Place to Grow. And as you can see, I'm back here in my learning corner. And I'm so glad that you decided to join me for another fun learning time. And you know it's the month of March. And March 2nd was a time that we recognized and celebrated one famous author, Dr. Seuss, the Seuss man, Theodore Seuss Geisel. And we were talking about the fact that March 2nd is Read Across America Day, and lots of schools celebrate. I like to celebrate the whole month of March, just checking out those Dr. Seuss books. And so I decided it would be really fun if I shared with you some of my favorite Dr. Seuss stories. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to share my very favorite with you. But before we do that, let's just talk about Dr. Seuss and just review what we've already learned about him. Well, you know that this year was his 118th birthday. Of course, he's not alive. He was born in 1904. He died in 1991. But you know what? He left behind so many wonderful stories for us to still enjoy. And that's why we're celebrating his wonderful work on children's books. Now, we know Dr. Seuss was an author. An author is a person that writes, he creates or she creates plays or books or songs or poetry and shares them, publishes them. And an illustrator is a person who draws and sketches for pieces of work, pieces of writing, so that the author can use those drawings in their pieces of work that they're publishing. Because, sometimes the author might be great with words, but not with drawing, and vice versa. So they team up. Dr. Seuss had the ability to do both. He was talented in both ways. So that's something we learned about him. And we also learned that he worked at home on his stories for 8 hours a day. We learned that if you're an author, you're not going to get those stories right the first time. That's okay. That helps me because I love to write. And I know I'm in good company with Dr. Seuss. If I'm writing and I'm struggling and I'm having writer's block, I might even sometimes do what he did when he was at home and put that silly hat on, his thinking cap, to help him generate some ideas. And I like the fact that Dr. Seuss would work and cross out things he didn't like and revise things and edit things before he was able to publish. He really worked hard, and that's what writing is all about. But if you love to do it, it is a work in progress. So it gives me hope as a writer too. Now, authors also have a writing style, and I'm sure illustrators have their special styles. It sets them apart from all other writers. Dr. Seuss had some trademark things that he did in his stories that I want us to take time just to check out, because as I'm reading my favorite story today, I want you to spy for these things. All right, let me share them with you because they're pretty interesting. Some of them you're probably going to know and say, yeah, I knew that. It says, how can you tell it's Dr. Seuss? There's a lot of authors, but how do you know it's Dr. Seuss? Let's check out some things that he normally put in his stories. All right, first thing, characters. Look for silly characters. His characters have a look. You can spy when you see a book, you're like, yeah, that's a Dr. Seuss character. Many of them have big bellies and scraggly fur. Many of them have a black outline, and many of them are made up creatures. Also, look for zany stories. Zany means crazy. Dr. Seuss wrote fiction. fiction is made up. So that's what makes it so fun. You can make it up. The fiction of Dr. Seuss is really wild. Yeah, that's true. Events happen that would never happen in real life. That's the fun of writing fiction. All right, let's keep going, because when I'm reading my favorite story, I want you to look at the characters and see if it's a wild, crazy story. Here's another trademark of a Dr. Seuss, in a Dr. Seuss book that you might find. Look for wacky machines. Dr. Seuss drew machines with gears, hooks, handles, and cranks. Some have hands and legs. His vehicles often have extra wheels and propellers. Also, look for funny rhymes. You probably knew that one. Many of his books rhyme. Those rhymes make us laugh, for sure. They are surprising. He often put more than one rhyme in a sentence. And to me, that makes a book easier to read. The rhyming words really help. Here's an example. My shoe is off. My foot is cold. I have a bird I like to hold. Cold, hold. The rhyme. All right. Let's keep checking out those things. There's couple more things we're going to be looking for as we read. Down here at the bottom, it says, look for made up words. Dr. Seuss had a lot of fun with writing. He made up many words and names. Do you think these made up words look like their pictures? That first one says zizzer, zazzer, zuzz. And then those glasses, not glasses at all. Goo goo goggles. That's pretty cool. And then this character is a Grinch. Now this final thing I'm going to share with you that you are going to be spying for in Dr. Seuss books is my favorite. And I just learned about it recently, and I always look for it now when I'm looking at his characters. It says, look at the eyes. All the eyes that he drew had U-shaped pupils. That's my favorite thing to spy for. Okay, so when I'm reading my favorite story, look and see if the characters are silly. See if you think it's zany and crazy and wild. Look for crazy machines with gears and hooks. Listen for rhymes. I can tell you right now, the story I love has rhymes. And then I'm going to show you those characters, and I want you to spy to see if you can spy the U-shaped pupil. And then, of course, see if you hear any zany words. All right, well, let's get started. I'm going to read and share my favorite Dr. Seuss book. It's called Marvin K Mooney, Will You Please Go Now? By Dr. Seuss. Now, I love this story because it's short and sweet. I love short stories. Sometimes I like long stories. But this one's really short. It's easy to read because there's lots of rhyming words. It's kind of funny and silly for sure. And I really like this character, Marvin K Mooney. I'll tell you why at the end. All right, get cozy, sit back, let's enjoy Marvin K Mooney, Will You Please Go Now? Look at that big finger. And look at Marvin's face. Marvin K Mooney, Will You Please Go Now? The time has come. The time has come. The time is now. Just go. 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 I don't care how. You kind of feel sorry for him, don't you? But don't you worry about him. Look at that face. You can go by foot. You can go by cab. Marvin K. Mooney, will you please go now? Well, at least the finger is polite. Saying please. You can go on skates. You can go on skis. You can go in a hat. But please, go please. I don't care. You can go by bike. You can go on a Zyke bike if you like. What's a Zyke bike? Oh yeah, Dr. Seuss made up a lot of crazy words. If you like, you can go in an old blue shoe. Just go, go, go. Please do, do, do. Marvin K. Mooney, I don't care how. Marvin K. Mooney, will you please go now? You can go on stilts. You can go by fish. You can go in a crunk car if you wish. Crazy machine. And I think if you spy really close, U-shaped pupils. Dr. Seuss. If you wish, you may go by lion's tail or stamp yourself and go by mail. Marvin K. Mooney, don't you know? The time has come to go, go, go. Get on your way, please, Marvin K. You might like going in a Zumbles, eh? That sounds made up for sure. Pretty cool machine. You can go by balloon or broomstick, or you can go by camel in a bureau drawer. You can go by bumbleboat or jet. I don't care how you go, just get. Bumbleboat? Sounds cool. I think someone should invent that. Get yourself a gazoom. You can go with a boom. Crazy machine. Rhyming words. Zoom, boom. Marvin, 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 will you please leave this room? I think the finger wants him to leave. What do you think? Marvin K. Mooney, I don't care how. Marvin K. Mooney, will you please go now? We're getting toward the end. What do you think Marvin's going to do? If you've not read this book, what do you think? I said go, and go I meant. Whoa. Big finger. The time had come, so Marvin went. What do you think? I think that book is so silly and funny. We saw a lot of those trademark elements that Dr. Seuss puts in his book. And you know, I said at the beginning of the story, I was going to share with you why I really liked Marvin as a character. I like his confidence. That big finger was pointing right at him, telling him to get out of here. You can go this way, go. I don't care, just get. You know what? When Marvin was ready, Marvin went. And I like that confidence in his character. So even though it's fiction and it's make-believe, you can still get inspired by even fun stories. And you can find good things that characters do in the story that can inspire you. All right. Now, I think the time has come. The time is now. it's time for us to close up another fun video, but I want you to check out some good Dr. Seuss stories. Well, hey, reading is great, so any kind of story you love, keep on reading. If you're checking out some Dr. Seuss books at the library or at school, look for those crazy machines. Listen for those crazy names. Look for those chubby, fuzzy, scraggly characters. Listen for those rhyming words and look for those U-shaped eyes. And you'll know for sure you're reading, even if the author's name is covered, you'll know it's Dr. Seuss. All right, the time has definitely come. So, like Marvin, I'm going to leave this room in just a minute. And I'm going to say to you, as always, until our next time together, have a good one.